Dan.
This is my husband.
This is my wife.
I thought that it would be a fun thing to do to start off our Coffee with a Creative little video series by having Dan interview me and get us started. So I have a lot of questions that have been recommended to me to ask other creatives. So Dan has picked a few of his favorites. I don't know what they are yet, although they're not a total mystery, but I don't know the questions he's picked. So hopefully this will be of interest to you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, also we don't have coffee because we just came from coffee, but the idea is that Coffee with the Creative, we would have coffee. Anyway.
Okay. Well, it's a real honor to interview you.
Thank you.
Okay, first question. Do you remember your first creative work? Or what is the first creative work that you can remember?
Like creative work that I have done?
Yeah.
Or, okay, so there's a few creative memories I have. The first one is, and I don't know if I remember it because there's a photo of it or not. I also don't know where to look. Okay, so there's a photo of me somewhere, and I made a paper skirt out of just cut paper and staples or pen, probably tape, but I don't think I would have been allowed to use a stapler at that time. But yeah, just little strips of paper that I taped around my waist, and then I taped other pieces of paper like this to make a skirt. And I also made a head wrap, and I was holding a pencil that had a paper cat on it in the picture. So yeah, that's one memory.
Second question. What's your favorite thing that you've made in any medium?
Oh, that's really hard. I don't know. What's your favorite thing that I made?
I don't know.
I don't know. I probably would have to say I don't know, a tie between all of my pieces of clothing that I've made. I don't know. I think maybe even just my Mandy Boat tee, because that's really it's a totally imperfect garment in itself, but it has, I wear it so often. Something about choosing the fabric and learning about myself. That was one of the first garments that I made for myself, and it's so imperfect. If you look at it, it's nothing fancy, but to me that's what kind of pushed me over the edge to sewing my own clothes, and it is a legit staple in my wardrobe. So probably that. There's nothing hard about it. It's just I'm just proud of that step that it took to just do it.
Yeah.
It was a free pattern. Yeah, it was great.
No, that's awesome. Cool. Number 3.
How many questions do you have?
7.
Okay.
Do you work on your creative stuff full-time or part-time, and does that balance work for you?
I think about it full-time and I work on it part-time because I'm also a stay-at-home mom, and that's full-time. So Yeah, so right now the way that it works is I basically have 2 days where our daughter is in daycare and our son is in school. And so basically I have 2 full-time days. And then basically always during Joni's naps as well. I work on business stuff, and then sometimes in the evenings. So I don't know, what is part-time? Yeah, I think about it a lot. It really does take up like a full-time Energizer bunny kind of role in my brain, but I only get the hours of it part-time. Oh, and does that work for me?
Yeah.
Yes. It is something that I think that Dan and I have to come back to sometimes, is like, is the house really being neglected? Like, usually during market season and things like that, the bathroom will get a little bit, the sink gets a little bit dirty, and I feel a guilt for not keeping up with that sort of thing. Or like laundry, like there's like a folded pile of laundry upstairs in our bedroom right now, and all the clothes are clean. They just haven't been put away yet. So it depends on what our standard of cleanliness is. I think it works for us. But yeah, it would be the same, I guess, if I worked full time anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. And you often mention how you wish you had more time for creating.
Yeah. So we're into a new cycle now of Joni and daycare 2 days a week. So that is helping split my mind so that when I'm with the kids, I can try and focus more on the kids, and when they're away, I can think more about business. Yeah.
Has monetizing creations changed how you view them?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't really sold much sewing yet, because, and I don't know if I ever will, I often toy with the idea, but with my embroidery work, it does make it feel more like a passion job. Like I don't embroider for myself in my time off. I sew for myself, and I embroider for business. Even though I really like it, it changes the feeling of it. Also, when I'm done with a piece that I really love, sometimes it's annoying, the price that I have to price it at, because like it's annoying to think through like how many hours I spent on it and the cost, because I feel emotionally attached to it, and so it's sad to think about the price that I'm putting on it. But at other times it feels like, when you value your work for what it's worth and then it sells, it also feels really exciting to be able to contribute to finances for our family or whatever, because someone else has like also seen, that special extra something that you put into your work. Yeah.
What is the most addictive part of creating?
Oh, I think, for me, it's probably that I always say, like, there's so many ideas, so little time. Like, when you kind of have that space to start daydreaming, it's hard to stop. I don't know. And then it's like anyone who knits probably gets this. It's like, oh, one more row before bed. It's just one more row. And then once you're done that, you're just like, oh, I'll just do 6 more stitches. And then it's like an hour later. Yeah, and especially with embroidery, I think it's just such slow work that you can have more dreams than you have time to do it, because they just take a long time. Yeah.
Okay. This is a deep question.
Oh boy.
What is the most vulnerable part of creating?
Oh, I feel like you and I talk about this sometimes. Probably just that, like, it will never be perfect. Like, yeah, I don't know how to answer that. it just is vulnerable. I don't know. It just, when you make something that's totally your own idea, especially with, I guess with some of my more like abstract pieces, you're just like, it's a risk, especially with embroidery, because it's so slow. So you spend so much time on it and you're not actually sure if it's going to work out. And then it's done and you're just like, I spent so much time on that. I either love it or I can't tell if I love it, or I don't know. And it's just time, like, you know, that special amount of time that you've spent working on it and you don't know how it's going to be received. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
It's a good answer. Yeah.
It just is vulnerable. That's all. It's just hard. I don't know.
Okay, and I've thrown in one of my own. So
Ooh.
Over your creative journey, you've met a lot of other creatives through like Instagram, your markets, and so on. Out of all those creatives that are now your acquaintances and friends, which one would you say is your most bitter enemy?
That's ridiculous. There is literally every single person that I have connected with, I have an admiration for. I thought you were gonna say like, I don't know, something nice. Like I probably talk about by name at least 8 people whose Instagram pages I follow and support and keep track of. There are literally so many amazing makers out there. And I honestly can't even think of a maker that I would have like ill feelings towards.
Sure,
Like that?
surely you must have like a rival.
I have no rivals. I feel like I learn a lot and am inspired by so many other makers. And especially when it comes to other, like either sewists or embroidery artists, probably because there's just so many different directions that you can go within those avenues. It is just so inspiring to see each person finding their own strengths, and I do 100% find that really inspiring. Yeah, I literally have no ill feelings towards anyone that I can.
Great. Well, thanks for taking this time to talk with me.
Thank you for having me. I feel like I should interview you now. Dan is also creative. Maybe I'll have him on here sometime and talk about his rap videos that he's made.
Maybe another video.
Another time. Okay, but upcoming, we should be having an interview soon with my friend Lindsay from Hello Stella. She is a yarn dyer, and she is amazing. I find her just so inspirational. She's always, I was gonna say like achieving, like it seems like she's always doing a lot, but mostly it seems like she really knows herself, and she is creating stuff that is close to her heart. And anyway, we're gonna have her next, so stay tuned. Thanks guys for being here.